Hey everyone, this is Devin Carroll with SocialSecurityIntelligence.com. If you've qualified for a Social Security benefit from prior work and also qualified for a pension from work where you did not pay Social Security tax, you need to understand the differences in how your Social Security benefit is going to be calculated. There's only 4 simple steps to calculating this, and it's the same steps used for the individual who does not have this non-covered pension. So if you worked in accounting or as a nurse, the same formula is used with one slight difference in it. So I want to go through these 4 steps and make it make sense for you so you can do the calculation for yourself. Let's dive in. So the first step is that your earnings are all going to be adjusted upwards for inflation. The second step is the calculation of your averaged index monthly earnings. And this is meant to give them the average amount that you earned on a monthly basis after it was adjusted for inflation. Once they have that amount, they'll run that through the formula to calculate your primary insurance amount, which is also your full retirement age benefit amount. And the last step, they're going to adjust it out for your filing age. So let's dive into each of these steps and show you how you can calculate your own benefit. Step 1. We're going to adjust your earnings. So let's take an individual who went to work in 1976 and began earning $15,000 per year. The earnings went up every year thereafter until 1981, at which point he became a teacher in the great state of Texas. Now this could be one of the other 15 states where teachers don't pay into Social Security, but you'll notice that all the way up until 2005, under the actual earnings, there are zeros. Now this doesn't mean that he wasn't earning anything. It just means that when the Social Security Administration looks at your historical earnings, if you were in a job where you did not pay Social Security tax, they see a 0 there. And then this individual goes back at age 55 into accounting, where he makes $36,000 a year, and you can see that there were some annual increases thereafter. And at 66, he's finished. He's retired, and now it's time to file for Social Security. Now, when the Social Security Administration looks at these historical earnings, the actual earnings aren't that important to them. What's much more important are the inflation-adjusted earnings. They maintain a table on their website that shows how to adjust these earnings, but we've taken the actual earnings here and adjusted those. So the $15,000 in earnings in 1976 would be adjusted up to $66,187. That's meant to reflect the cost of living adjustments that have happened over the years to make sure that your Social Security benefit is going to be enough to have kept up with that amount. If they used your actual earnings instead, your benefit amount would actually be much lower when they finish this calculation. And you can go on through here and see I've actually added the adjusted earnings in here from the Social Security tables. And those are the numbers that the Social Security Administration is going to use when they're moving to step 2, which is to calculate the averaged index monthly earnings. They'll also refer to that by its acronym AIME. So they'll take all of the adjusted earnings and they will sum up the highest 35 years. So what happens if you don't have 35 years? Well, they'll still use 35 years in their calculation, but if you have 20 years of earnings, they're simply going to use 15 years of zeros. And so in this case, if you add up the 35 highest years, you come up to an amount of $874,690. And then they divide that by 420. Which is simply the number of months in 35 years. Because remember, they are wanting to get to the averaged indexed monthly earnings. And that gives them the amount of $2,082, and that is your AIME, or your averaged index monthly earnings. Once they have this amount, they can move to step 3, which is to calculate your primary insurance amount. Now, this is where the formula gets slightly different for individuals who have a non-covered pension and are subject to the windfall elimination provision, and those who do not have a non-covered pension and are not subject to the WEP. So I want to cover this formula first without considering the windfall elimination provision. And then I'll show you the slight change in the formula that they make that adds in the penalty amount for that windfall elimination provision. So they take your averaged index monthly earnings and they start to run it through this grid. So for the first $896 of averaged index monthly earnings, it's applied to your full retirement age benefit at 90%. So in this case, it would be $806. And the remainder would be applied to your primary insurance amount at 32%. Now, if you had a very high AIME, it would be applied at 15% at amounts beyond $5,340. But in this case, it did not exceed that $5,399, and so it's only into those first two bands. And then you simply add up that last column that says PIA, and that gives you your full retirement age benefit. And in this case, it would be $1,185. Now, here's where it gets different if you have a pension from work where you did not pay Social Security tax. And this is the only difference between the calculations. Instead of 90% in that first band, it's 40%. And so in this case, it would reduce down the first amount from $806 down to $358. And instead of an $1,185 primary insurance amount, it would be reduced down to $737. Now, those amounts in the bend points change. So from that 0 to 896, next year it will likely be from 0 to $905, $910, somewhere in that range. And all of the other bend points will change with that. So that's the way the reduction works. And then once that penalty amount is applied with that lower bend point, it's time then and only then to reduce or increase your benefit because of your filing age. If you're born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age benefit is 66. And every year thereafter, it increases by 2 months all the way up until 1960, at which point it is set at 67. That could certainly change in the future, but right now that's unknown. So, using the full retirement age amount of 66 years of age, that is when you can get 100% of your PIA. So that $737, if that was your benefit amount, you would be able to get 100% of that. However, if you filed early, you would get less, and you can see how it goes all the way back to age 62. You would only get 75% of that amount. However, if you delayed and you waited all the way up until age 70, you would get 132% of that amount. And though charts like these are fairly common, where we express the increases or decreases on an annual basis, they actually occur on a monthly basis. And here you can see that the 36-month period prior to your full retirement age, your benefit decreases by 0.555% on a monthly basis. And then anything beyond that, it decreases by 0.417. And at your full retirement age and beyond, it increases by 0.667% on a monthly basis. So that's it. That's how you calculate your Social Security benefit if you have a pension from work where you did not pay Social Security tax. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, and also don't forget to go to my website, socialsecurityintelligence.com. Thanks for watching.